This Crimson Desert video is going to teach you the fastest and easiest, instantaneous almost way to get a pet. You don't have to wait until the day changes. You don't have to feed the pets meat and pet them a bunch and revisit them over and over. This is the quickest way to get one of the more efficient pets in the game. And yes, not all pets are even. The cat animals do not loot as good as the dog animals, and there is proof of that. So you're going to need a few requirements. You're going to need a small amount of silver, and you need the Hernan fast travel point, which is like at the very start of the game, okay? So this is Hernan, this is the fast travel point, and then all you need to do is go down to the grocer, and it's real easy to find the grocer. The inn, the game is going to have you go to the inn, and it's going to have you talk to a beggar on this sewer drain. So if you face south from that, and you walk slightly down the road, here is the grocer. It's this guy with a deer head. I don't know why he's got a deer head, but this guy sells groceries. Yay!
Just in time, I have some
and it sounds like Josh Strife Hayes, but we're gonna buy 3 sweet potatoes. Just buy 3. You don't need any more than 3, okay? And that's gonna cost you 36 copper. So again, super cheap. That's all we need. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to travel. You're gonna use the fast travel, and you're gonna go back to town. Now, you're going to be using this fast travel to get the dog that you want. You can also save and load game if this doesn't work for some reason, but when you arrive at the fast travel and you're all loaded in, I'm waiting game, you're going to turn to your right, and there's a house here, and it really depends on the time of day that you come here. Right now, I'm at 8 in the morning, but there will be a dog right here, So if there is no dog, simply fast travel again until there is a dog, or go sleep at a bed for a few hours and come right back to this location. Alright, after a few tries, again, if there's still no dog, what you can do is you can use the bed from the blacksmith. So if we just run down this little alleyway here, there is the, like, smithy area, this guy, and right upstairs there's a bed you can use, so just sleep in the bed for a little while, and that'll change up everything. So I'm just going to rest in the bed here. And again, you can do this during the day, during the night. Just, we're looking in that corner for a dog, okay? I'm going to do a 6-hour rest, and we'll see if he spawns. And if all of that still isn't working, you can fast travel away from town. That way you hit a loading screen and then fast travel back. Alright, so now we have a dog here. So this dog is called a Jindo, but you want to make sure that it's a Jindo. There are 4 different varieties of dog that can spawn here. There is a white one, a black one, a brown one, which we got right here. But also there is a white one that is not a Jindo, that is just called white dog. You want to make sure when you pet it, right now it's question marks, but we're going to go ahead and pet the dog. There we go. And you may think that this mask I'm wearing helps. You'll see now its name, or its type, is Jindo, okay? Now I want to talk about the equipment I'm wearing. The equipment I'm wearing does not work, okay? So this helmet says it gives you +2 trust gain. This only works against humans and not animals. I thought it would work against animals, but whatever. But anyway, now that we have the Jindo, you can also go to the journal, and you can go to knowledge, and you can learn about the creature Jindo, which is terrestrial. But yeah, Jindo is known as the most loyal and most intelligent dog. Now, canonically, this would be your best companion out of all the pets, right? It's right here at the very start of the game, okay? Though I will say, it doesn't matter what dog you get. It does matter if you get a cat or a dog. These animals, by the way, if you're unaware, they help you loot things on the ground, especially if you're gathering. Say you're on a tall mountain and you mine some ore, and it tumbles down the mountain into tall grass, you'll never find it. But if you summon a pet, the pet will instantly loot it for you. It's really nice. That's why you want a pet, okay? But if you get a cat, and say you chop down a tree, the cat, instead of grabbing the lumber for you, will instead, like, play with the apples that drop from the tree, and it won't loot anything. So you don't want a cat, you want a dog. I'm a cat person in real life, but in the video game, you want a dog. Anyway, we're going to pet it a bunch here, and you don't have to pet it too many times, just like 3 times, so that's +5 trust. You can pet it up to 5 times, but anyway, we have it at +15 trust. That's all we really need. So what you're going to do now is open your inventory, and those sweet potatoes you bought, you're just going to drop them. Just push F on mouse and keyboard to drop them, and make sure that there's no humans or other entities around that steal your potatoes. But there we go. The Jindo will eat the potato, And that's going to give you a plus 35 trust, okay? Boom, plus 35 trust. And then it will eat the other 2 potatoes. If it doesn't eat them, pick them back up, take a few steps, and then drop them again. It will eventually eat them. Now, all these other guides out there telling you to feed these dogs meat. No, every animal has a favorite food, and Jindo's is sweet potatoes. So once you get that trust of 100, and look, there's a human walking by, they might steal your potatoes. You want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So just be aware that that is a thing, all right? So you can see the Jindo is eating the potato. There we go. Its trust is now 100. We can now hold E to take it in. And there we go. It's a good little pet, little doggo, right? Now when you push escape and you have your cliff, like if you go to inventory, you have cliff and you have pets. So you can summon and unsummon your pet from this menu. And whenever you have the pet out, it will just loot stuff for you. Now, generally these pets aren't that good for combat looting. If you kill like hundreds of bandits, it's not gonna like loot them all. It will loot random weapons that they drop. It will loot random stuff that flies off of them when you kill bandits. But the best way to utilize your pet for looting, and don't worry about it. You see on the minimap, there's a little dog icon. That will just teleport to you every once in a while. The optimal way to use your pets is when you gather. So you should summon the pet when you're chopping trees or mining ore. So I'm going to give you an example now. We're going to go ahead and mine some, not mine, but chop some lumber. We're going to punch the tree down, and then we're going to punch the tree again to bust it into chunks. And now, here's the thing, too. If you're unaware of how gathering works in this game, you want, on the final stage, to use the logging axe, because if you don't get fine timber. And obviously, later, you get a, why am I not drawing my weapon here? Obviously, later in the game, you get a chainsaw, which makes this way faster. Why is it putting my logging axe away? Hello, game? Yeah, let me chop this. There we go. Okay, so that didn't count. Whatever. But see, as we chop it now, instead of having to loot this, the dog will just automatically loot this stuff for me. And yeah, even though it's standing there, look, it'll do its thing. You just have to believe in it. There it goes. Boom. Timber acquired. And it's going to run around and grab everything else. Find timber acquired. And while you're, instead of having to loot everything and then chop the next tree, you can just start chopping the next tree and prepping the tree while the dog does all the loot work for you. But it also really helps whenever you do mining as well. For instance, I'm going to run down here and show you how it looks when we mine. Alright, so in this save file, I've already mined everything, but use your imagination. Let's pretend for a moment I'm on a very tall cliff facing, and I have myself the mining knuckle drill, because that's how you mine while you're on the wall. And then if I push left and right click, I will then do the mining action. Now, let's say I mine some valuable resources, and of course, it's going to fall all the way down the mountain, and then it's going to tumble into tall grass, and that's going to bounce, and that ore is going to go flying down the mountain, and it's going to be a real pain in the ass to track. But with the doggo out, as soon as you mine it, no matter how far it flies, that dog will just go auto-loot it for you, and you can keep mining, you can keep climbing the mountain, and then you'll just receive the ore automatically. This also works in caves if they're really dark, or then it goes like flying into an awkward corner that you can't see or that you don't notice. So again, you want to grab a pet so that it just helps you gather way easier. But also later in the game, you can go to this village down here, and this is Pororin. You'll have to do a quest to be able to get in here, because it's like the little witch girl village or whatever. And there's a shop after, I think, chapter 3 or 4, I forget what chapter, but not chapter 2. This save file is in chapter 2, okay? But if you go in there at the right chapter, there is a pet shop, and you can buy armor for your pet. Now, the armor doesn't do anything. It's purely cosmetic. You can just put like a little metal plate helmet on them and, you know, some armor. It doesn't do anything. The pets don't participate in combat. They don't take damage. They can't be killed. They're purely just something you pop out to help you loot things. That's it. That's all the pets do. Anyway, this is the easiest way to get one of the best pets in the game as early as possible. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you could do me a favor, go check out some of my other Crimson Desert videos. They're pretty good. I have a best start video that actually goes over some of the best gear you can get. And no, it's not the usual slop like, oh, run here and get the Huando sword. The Huando sword sucks. It has crappy stats, and you should never use it, okay? No, it's a real guide for real gamers that's truly min-maxed and not just copy-paste, oh, they got the game 2 weeks early slop, like all the other creators. But anyway, that's all I've got. I'll see you later. Mwah. Kiss on your foreheads.